Hey guys, today we're going to talk about sharks and bears. Yeah, sharks and bears. Why might you ask, am I going to talk about sharks and bears? Well, let me tell you, okay? We're going to talk about sharks and bears because there's quite a few rumors going around and I remember them. I even had to Google them to this day to see if they're actually just that, rumors. That if you go into the water, into the ocean, I should be more specific, if you swim in the ocean or take a stroll in the woods, and you're on your period, sharks and bears will be drawn to that scent and come and eat you alive. And this is false, okay? False. The funniest thing is when you type in, I typed in, will you get attacked? I didn't even have to say attacked. All I had to say was, will you get attacked? At the end of the word attack, the first thing that popped up was by sharks. Well, on your period. I should Google it just to make sure that's what pops up. But right away I was like, whoa, it's like the #1 search. So it's a common question. It's definitely something I remember hearing even till this day and kind of questioning myself because I'm from Iowa, so I don't live near oceans or woods where bears would reside. So I've never really had to worry about it in my personal life. But the thought has crossed my mind like, wait, that's a myth, right? So I decided to look into it for myself, and there's some pretty interesting stuff. So we're gonna start with shark attacks first. And why I talk about this is because I saw a commercial, I believe it was a Tampax commercial, I will link it down below, where these two women, one was in a black swimming suit, one was in a white swimming suit, and they like stroll into the ocean. And all of a sudden, one of the women, one of them, I can't remember which one, like the shark comes up and like eats her. It's like, wait, that's not true, is it? And it's not. I looked it up, it's not true. Mr. Collier and Mr. Baldridge did this study where they introduced several different bodily fluids to captive wild sharks that were kept in open ocean pens to see if any of the bodily fluids caused a feeding frenzy that people fear. And there was only one fluid out of all the many different fluids they introduced into the water that caused this fearful feeding frenzy. And this was a peritoneal fluid found in their abdominal cavity. So unless your abdominal cavity is just like floating out in the ocean, letting all its fluids out, you don't have to worry about attracting sharks with your bodily fluids, especially not your menstrual fluids. They did point out that blood that was native to the ocean, meaning blood from a sea animal, was more likely to cause a feeding frenzy than blood from a land animal, such as a human, because sharks and other dangerous ocean life aren't accustomed to the scent of human blood. It doesn't register in their mind that there is an animal in distress, so it's not as likely to trigger that like thing in their brain, the feeding frenzy thing. Then there's this really cool lady called Marie Levine, and she has been diving with sharks for years and years and years, and she even said that she got her period while in the middle of a school of hammerhead sharks. But she said that they had zero interest in her, like she had to swim really, really fast to even catch up to them. According to one statistic I found, it says that 90% of all recorded shark attacks are men. So they say this is very circumstantial because men are much more likely to be in that situation, but nonetheless, 9% of shark attacks are sharks eating guys. Now, if any of you have seen Anchorman, you're all familiar with the line that Steve Carell says where he freaks out and he says, "The bears can smell the menstruation." And I'll link that video down below because it's just fun to watch. But another thing, people think bears can smell period blood. Periods, my friends, do not attract bears, just like they don't attract sharks. I found that they said periods do not attract bears no more than any other bodily scent. But the fear of this bear attack because of period came because of this event that happened on August 13th, 1967. There were 2 women that were killed by grizzly bears in the Glacier National Park. People speculated that it was because of their menstrual odor. No one investigated this belief of whether they were on their periods even at the time, or if that's why the bears attacked them. And because no one did any investigation or looked into it, it just became like a belief, like it became a myth because of that. In 1991, there was a study done and it involved 26 different tampons and 26 different bears, and there was zero interest from any of them, tampons or bears. And just like with shark attacks, 79% of bear attacks have been against men. This is also circumstantial because men are more likely to be around bears, but nonetheless, 79%. They did find one species of bear that had any interest in menstrual blood, and those were polar bears. But for most of us, we're not around polar bears. So unless you're in like Greenland, Russia, Canada, Alaska, or Norway, you should be safe. But there are a lot of people there, so, but you guys know better than me what to do with polar bears, so, I don't know. Polar bears aren't gonna eat you in Iowa. Nor are any other bear or sharks. Personally, I have bigger things to worry about than sharks or bears on my period. Number one are dogs. They always stick They always stick their head into your crotch when you're on your period, and you're like, oh no, I don't know. And you're like, everyone knows now that I'm on my period. Number two, in the ocean, I don't have to worry about sharks. I have to worry about drowning, getting sucked out to sea, or not being able to surf because I just can't figure it out. And in the woods, I don't have to worry about bears. I have to worry about getting lost, running out of food, or like some crazy witch lady hunting me down and playing sick games with me and my friends. But sharks and bears I'm good with, okay? Chill. Well friends, I hope you enjoyed this little short, lighthearted video. Hope you got a little laugh. Hope you learned that you don't attract animals unless they're dogs on your periods. Don't worry about sharks or bears. They're not coming for you, I promise. Until next time, ladies and gents, I'll be seeing you. Bye.